What a performance and what a comeback.
Yeah, the belief of the team is always there. The belief by the fans on us is amazing. They pushed us through difficult moments this season that we have made great comebacks. The club is made also by that. We know in the past we have done a lot like these results, so it's a great result for us, obviously. But now we have a big match on Sunday.
Well, I think in the first half we played really well. We were much better than the opponent, than Manchester United at home in Old Trafford. We knew that it's really difficult to compete here, and then the second half was a bit different. They show more intensity, more rhythm, and I think the draw, the goal of Fred, we suffer a lot.
First half we don't play like you play, we play, but in the second half we are much better. We start very well. We scored early, so we have a good talk in the halftime with the coach, and we change our mind in halftime, and we go to second half very well.
Finally, you can buy English football at a very low price. Enjoy Premier League and Champions League full replay matches, as well as analysis shows from Premier League TV, BBC, BT Sports, and Sky Sports. Uncut with full footage. Enjoy weekend reviews, previews, tactical analysis, and more. Join us today at the link in the description below, www.primeshows.net.
I think the small details. I think both goals were before we lost the duel. We lost the duel. Maybe physically they were stronger than us, and that's why we suffered the 2 goals. But we have to be proud. We knew that Manchester United now is coming back. Now we have to focus in La Liga and Copa del Rey.
This season we have been good. We've been really good, because also they are always behind us. But this season is something different. You can feel it between them and us. We have something special, because they see that we are doing all we can to win games for them. And the push that they gave us, you see, the Old Trafford was bouncing. That's why we get results. When you get the goal straight after the second half starts, you know they will be behind us. So it was just a matter of time to score the second goal.
Yeah, it's really nice to hear Bruno talking about that connection between the team and the fans. It hasn't always been like that in recent years, so it's something very special. And this was such a special tie as well. It would have been a fitting final either in the Europa League or Champions League in seasons of old. And it really lived up to it, didn't it, over the 2 legs? It really was high quality.
I thought it was amazing. I thought the standard of football over the 2 legs was outrageous at times. Acid test for Man United in terms of where they've been at domestic competitions and in the Premier League, but you draw Barca in the Nou Camp. They played really well. Tactically, I thought they were off in the first half. In truth, I thought the switch from playing Jadon Sancho as a number 10 and Bruno out to the right in a position where he's not used to being, or he's not effective, but he changed it in the second half. But I think the connection, as you saw when they were coming off the pitch, that's something you can't buy, it's something you can't measure, but they fully deserve to go through.
Yeah, I mean, do you think they fully deserve to go through over the 2 legs, Chris? Because there were times when their backs were against the wall at the Camp Nou as well. They were 1-0 down at half-time as well, but they're through.
Yeah, and Bruno Fernandes talked about the belief from the fans, but the belief within the squad and the belief in the manager. And when the manager, he often makes changes, was really decisive at half-time. That was a key factor. I thought they were a little bit flat going forward in the first half, but quick to change things. And boy, did they change.
Yeah, and that was key, wasn't it? And let's talk about that first half, because they did go a goal down, and it was a penalty taken by Robert Lewandowski, but we can see the challenge as well. Bruno Fernandes on Alejandro Balde. Soft pen done?
I don't think it's a penalty. What I would say from Bruno Fernandes' point of view, being an experienced player, there's no need to put your hand around Balde in your own 18-yard box.
There's that moment there, isn't it, where Balde turns his body just...
It's very, very soft.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it's very soft, but don't put your hands on him. Don't give the referee the opportunity. I think the penalty from Lewandowski's not a good one. He hasn't got a brilliant record of taking penalties. And I think when you offer this sort of stuttered run-up, I think it puts you under more pressure, and he made life very difficult for himself, and he got lucky by finishing that.
It's a weird one, isn't it? What do you make of that stuttered run-up? Because, we've seen Bruno Fernandes himself do it as well, and I personally think it just makes it very nervy.
I think some players are better than others. It doesn't necessarily seem to suit Lewandowski. Anthony, but Bruno takes him pretty well doing that run up. But
That's very true.
It still went in.
Yeah.
Job was done.
It's almost like he's copied it, but he's, as you said, he's not good at it. Bin it.
Bin it. Just do what you do well. You can hear the goal show, by the way. They're in the middle of a penalty shootout, just so that you know. We just don't have friends in the background hanging out during our show. Let's take a look at the equaliser. This was from Fred. And every time Fred's for Manchester United, they go on to win the game. And this, Chris, as a striker, it's a beautiful finish.
Yeah, it is. It's the pass from Bruno Fernandes who went into that number 10 position. You know, decisive change. Anthony off the right hand side. Fernandes in the 10 role. The weight of pass is brilliant. I've got to say, Fred's take is wonderful, and then he does get a bit lucky. That touch there into his path, and then he shins it in. I scored a few of them in my career, but that was right after half time, and that certainly put Barcelona on the back foot, and Manchester United had that momentum.
Do you know what I like about the pass? I like the pass from Bruno Fernandes, being a midfield player, you know, wrapping that ball into Chris and wrapping it into Fred. You can trust your front man to get hold of it. You can trust Fred because of the form that he's in and how good he can be. I think he takes a bashing, I think, unnecessarily. I think he's a hard worker. He's a good player. And you see by the finish and how important it was. But the relationship between Bruno trusting his teammate by not playing a softball into him, really wrapping it into his back foot.
Yeah. OK, well, let's take a look at the winner then. A super sub, Anthony, coming off the bench. And this also was a great finish, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the beauty of Manchester United in forward areas, they have so many options. I mean, the possibility of a foul from Bruno, I didn't think it was. But as it just sits there now, a lot of players would just lash at that and try and put the laces through it. But he composes himself beautifully, Anthony does. And he just feeds, he knows what he wants to do, and he just feeds the ball with the inside of his foot with a little bit of bend into the far corner. He knows where he wants to put it. He has to put the perfect angle, and that little bit of bend just does for Ter Stegen, and Sir Alex is happy.
Yeah, he certainly is. And it's interesting with Anthony, because he's been a bit of a divisive figure since he's arrived at Old Trafford. A lot of fans not enjoying the showboating and lots of other things levelled against him as well. But moments like this, can they be turning points in your club career?
They can, and I think that's testament again to the work that Erik ten Hag's doing. We talk about the chess battle that he won with Ronaldo. He had a mini one with Marcus Rashford, didn't he, when he was late for a meeting, so he dropped in for a game. The off-the-field work that he's done with Jadon Sancho mentally, to give him a rest and give him a break and allow him the time to come back. Then you've got to put that work in with players that you've just signed who are not in great form. It might take a little bit of time to adjust, but I think it's the style of ten Hag. No, he doesn't throw any players under the bus. He manages them well. So he's obviously recognised that he's been out of form, so he's took them out the side. You get repaid by finishes like that. Yeah,
you certainly do. And on Ten Hag's style, it's interesting because, you know, he has been able to improve the team around him. As you say, he had to sort of handle the Ronaldo situation, and he did that and showed his authority as well. He manages down very well. You know, he manages his team. But that earns him a lot of leverage with the people at the top.
It does. I think as well as he manages down, because what he's doing to the board and the members on potential takeovers, whatever, he never seems fussed, doesn't want to get involved. But it's almost like the work that he's doing, he's managing up, because he then can go in the summer window, and if it's a Wout Weghorst for £2.5 million or £100 million player, the board trust him because of what he's doing with his players. I think it's a great sign for managers when their ability, not just buying players, is actually improving the players that you've got. And that's another thing that I see with Ten Hag. So managing the players on the pitch, but managing the board at the same time.
It gives him plenty of clout, doesn't it? The performance level of the team. You go back, I think it was early October, they lost to Manchester City. It was humiliating, 6-3. And I think since then they've won 22 out of 29. That is incredible. They're still in 4 competitions. Who would have ever thought that? And that's a testament to getting the right coaching.
Yeah, it certainly is. And they've got their first test on Sunday. Do you back them to lift their first trophy, Chris?
Oh, do you back them? Newcastle have had that week off. Bruno's back for Newcastle.
Yeah,
I'm going to back Newcastle.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's happy.
Didn't see that coming.
Carry us.
I didn't see it. I
Full of surprises,
I thought I was the only one that was going to back Newcastle, being a Newcastle fan.
I didn't expect that. I have to admit,
neither.
I didn't expect that. But it is United who are